Richard Harrison.
Godfrey Ho and her scissors. But let's get serious. Richard Harrison was born on May 26, 1936, in Salt Lake City, Utah, into a modest family. Seeking to escape a tense home environment, he left for California at the age of 14 to try his luck. There, he found work as a gym instructor. During the 1950s, bodybuilding gained significant popularity, and Harrison achieved his first successes in this field, competing in various contests and earning some titles. However, he never truly considered himself a professional in the sport. To make ends meet, he worked as a photographic model for fashion and sports magazines. Starting in 1957, he began landing small roles in Hollywood productions, such as Gene Eagles, directed by George Sidney and starring Kim Novak, as well as Too Much Too Soon, by Art Napoleon, where he shared the screen with Errol Flynn. Later, Richard was offered a contract with American International Pictures, AIP, a studio known for producing numerous B-movies in action, adventure, and science fiction genres. During his time with AIP, he appeared alongside Charles Bronson and Vincent Price in Master of the World, a film adaptation of Jules Verne's work, directed by William Whitney. Eventually, he married Loretta, the daughter of James Nicholson, one of AIP's top executives. For 2 decades, Richard Harrison built his career in Italy, starring in over 100 European B-movies that spanned genres such as peplum, western, espionage, war, adventure, and thriller, though he never ventured into fantasy films. Harrison never saw himself as an exceptional actor and credited his success to luck. Instead of seeking roles in more prestigious productions, he chose his films primarily based on salary or location, often seeing them as an opportunity for an all-expenses-paid vacation. However, this approach eventually had a negative impact on his career. Richard Harrison, always in demand, ventured into Hong Kong productions in the mid-1970s, collaborating with director Chong Che on films by Shaw Brothers. In The Boxer Rebellion, he had a special role as a German officer, while in Marco Polo, The Warrior of Kublai Khan, he was part of a peculiar mix between a biography of the famous traveler and a kung fu film, where his character ended up being merely a spectator of the martial fights. During this period, Harrison met Edward Scissorhands. Sorry, I meant Godfrey Ho, who at the time was a young member of Shaw Brothers. This fateful encounter would eventually have unexpected consequences for his career. Things were about to take a turn for the worse. In the mid-1980s, Godfrey Ho, a former assistant on the set of Marco Polo, managed to convince Richard Harrison to take part in a Hong Kong martial arts film for the IFD company. The project was led by a certain Joseph Lai, whose working methods had an almost mafia-like nature. The result was a series of utterly mind-boggling and absurd ninja films: Black Ninja, Ninja Terminator, Ninja's Terror, Ninja Fury, Ninja Squad, Ninja Dragon. These productions were cobbled together using rough edits that combined footage from old Asian films with newly shot scenes featuring Richard Harrison, who seemed entirely unconcerned about what he was being asked to film. In an interview with the website ultimateninja.com, Richard Harrison describes the filming conditions of these strange works.
The stories were very difficult to understand. I was assigned scenes to shoot, but I didn't know the full story. In the last film I was assigned, I had different scenes that ended up in 9 different movies. When I tried to stop it, I was reported to the tax authorities and had to pay thousands of dollars in taxes when I was supposed to receive my salary after tax deductions. I didn't expect these movies to be of exceptional quality, but I never thought they could be so bad.
During his second stay in Hong Kong, Richard finally realized the extent of the scam. To pay off his debts to the local tax authorities, he was forced to film disconnected scenes in front of Godfrey Ho's camera. The Ho and Lai duo didn't even attempt to make him believe they were shooting complete films.
You killed the master. So what do you want? To become a master? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, yes, no, no. Stop!
Richard Harrison, disappointed and frustrated, saw his reputation tarnished by the arrival of these controversial products, first on the screens and then in the video market. Thanks to his careful financial planning in the United States, he now has the opportunity to end his career with dignity. At 50 years old, he considers himself retired and will only participate in projects that bring him pleasure or where he can offer his support. Although he appeared in many ninja movies, he was not a martial arts expert or a real fighter. Harrison used to play Western heroes who faced ninja villains or armies of Eastern warriors, but stunt doubles or cinematic effects were actually used for the more complicated stunts. Even though he was not a true combat expert, his on-screen presence and charisma made him an icon of the genre. In low-budget cinema of that era, it was common to use Asian stunt doubles, who, by the way, were quite skilled, to replace Western actors in fight sequences. The scenes where Harrison's character appeared wearing a ninja mask or in distant shots were performed by martial arts specialists. These stunt performers were often acrobats or local martial artists hired in Hong Kong. Interestingly, ninjas in these films frequently wielded traditional Chinese kung fu weapons, except for the katana and the famous throwing stars. When Harrison was shown in close-ups, the fights were choreographed in a very basic manner, but for wide shots or complex movements, the footage would quickly cut to a masked double. In some films, such as The Ninja Strikes Back, 1983, even stock footage from other productions was used to fill action sequences. Directors like Godfrey Ho, famous for his low-budget ninja movies, would mix Harrison's scenes with recycled footage from other Asian films, creating incoherent but action-packed stories.